Yo, what is up? It is your boy Stephlyon. Today we are reacting to an Inside Star Citizen, content driven. What are they talking about? Let's watch it, react to it, and let's see what we think about it.
If you watched last week's 3-hour special edition of Star Citizen Live, you heard a lot about the evolution of this year's patches, how often they're going to come out, and how our shows are changing.
Wait, guys, is it me, or this dude is always shapeshifting? He's a shapeshifter. He must be AI. Every time I see him, he looks different. What's going on?
To reflect that. And if you didn't, well, I'm not really going to recap all that here. But this week, we sat down with some of the non-feature folk to talk about the content-driven side of this new initiative.
I'm hearing a lot of gunfire. Sounds a little bit like me. Hey, yo, is that a Hello Kitty outfit? Yo, why is there a Hello Kitty outfit? That's kind of lit.
Where did this idea of a content-driven push come from?
Well, as we sort of alluded to in the 1.0 presentation at CitizenCon, there's been a desire to get more emphasis on starting to build the storylines and the characters of Star Citizen Universe and getting them actually in game.
The way the content patches are going to break down.
Wait, guys, hold on. Let me just say this off rip. I thought we were forgetting about content for a little bit to work in stability. Why are they doing a whole segment on content driven? I thought they said, we're going to calm down on that to fix the game. This is kind of like counterintuitive to what they said, right?
Ultimately trying to provide new content to you each month. Alongside all of this, we're going to be essentially providing new missions, new events, kind of a lot of what we've done before, but taking it up to the next level.
But again, that's so against what they said.
To start figuring out ways to engage the players in a growing and expanding storyline.
We're going to be sending you all the way around the verse, doing lots of different varied types of gameplay. You'll still be doing events that are prevalent to a story that we're going to be working on as well.
I got you covered!
As well as new missions that build up the existing roster that we actually have in game already.
That's okay, right. I get it, new content, but again, why are we? This is essentially backtracking off what we were just told. And I was thinking like, yo guys, they're not like before. They said they're not gonna lie. They're gonna go and make the game better. And now we're talking about content already. Damn. Maybe I'm missing stuff because I haven't watched the 3 hours. So maybe when I watch that, it'll be more clear to me. But just from this, is like, what are we doing here? And again, I want to talk about the missions. The missions, especially the priority missions, they pay a lot. Are they planning to have a lot more priority missions where players can just bash those out and get a bunch of money? Because that's like free money at that point.
There will be some content that is only there for a limited amount of time.
Right,
but ultimately, a lot of this content is still going to persist when we hit to Star Citizen 1.0. So we're actually building out the larger content map that exists in the game.
Did y'all see the glitch? Look at this character right here. Look, let me move a little bit. Look at this. Look at the way they jump.
Map that exists in the game.
That's literally a bug.
There's going to be a huge focus now on stability and quality of life too, because we want a stable environment for our developers to work in, but we also want a stable game that's less buggy, less crashes.
But then we shouldn't be essentially working on new content then. And we shouldn't be putting new content in because you need the environment to be stable first, right? Like if you want to build a house, you don't build it on sand. You want a stable freaking platform. You want your foundation to be stable. Then you start building. You don't, it's not making, what I'm hearing isn't making sense to the statement that I got like 2 weeks ago.
And much more pleasant for you guys to play day to day.
Sick armor,
What's the word? Today's been rough.
As far as the structure for how we're going to tell the story, one of the things that we were kind of excited to try for it was actually utilizing a storytelling structure that's usually used in TV shows. Basically, there's usually an A story and a B story that happen within a single episode. If you're Seinfeld, you have a C story as well, because they're just that good. But there's the A story is sort of your primary story, your B story is sort of a supplemental ancillary story that sometimes can feed into it, but sometimes can be standalone. And it's just a way to kind of keep the scenes dynamic and kind of make them feel alive.
That's going to be very tricky to do in a game.
What we're trying to do is actually utilize kind of a similar thing, but stretched out over a longer period of time. And
okay, you know what? I feel like it's a really hard thing to do unless you give yourself a lot of time to build it, because if you're building a story that's going to be done in like a week, that's not, you don't have enough time to do that in a game. But if it's something that's going to be spanned out for like 6-7 months, then you have enough time to make it long enough where you have time to do it, and also players can play through it and it doesn't feel like it's super fast or super snappy, and it's like, okay, this does feel like I'm in an actual series, you know?
Being that it makes the universe feel bigger. So there's not just one thing happening that's consuming the entire universe. But also, if you're not interested in the A story, if for whatever reason it's not engaging you, you have something else that you can kind of do. So the idea is that hopefully that one of the two stories, hopefully both, but if not, one of the two stories will be fun and exciting and kind of offer a new insight to the Star Citizen universe. Currently, the
I haven't
plan
seen
is actually
these new
the A
caves.
story. We've already started it, and is actually going to be going through September. And then the B story is a little bit smaller, but it starts basically in April and goes.
See, the thing is, right, when they're talking about these A story, B stories, I'm thinking to myself, because of the nature of Star Citizen, to make it work where it's like, it's real and it feels real, there has to be multiple, there has to be like 10 of each. 10 A stories like possibilities, 10 B story possibilities, and to change the story slightly. Because if everyone is doing the exact same A and B story, it's gonna feel like every single MMORPG out there. It's gonna feel very linear. Like, yeah, oh, what mission are you doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing the mission that you just did yesterday. Oh, sure, yeah, so we're doing the same thing? Yeah, exactly the same. Everything, the dialogue, everything perfectly aligned because it's exactly the same. It's gonna feel a little bit like, but if it's like, everything I was doing is totally different, and then later down the line, I chose this mission and then it changed everything again, it gives a more dynamic set of like, a more dynamic range to the missions.
On. So it's a multi-month thing. So it goes on until about October. Once this A story and B story kind of resolve themselves, we have a new A story that starts up and a new B story. So we sort of bounce back and forth. So some months we'll have more B story than A story. Some other months we'll have more A story than B story. But it gives us a way to kind of, again, pull in a lot of different facets of the universe, and whether it's gameplay, mission types, ships, and not have to figure out one overarching narrative that somehow encapsulates everything.
This doesn't replace that big storyline that we talked about at CitizenCon.
No. This doesn't replace that.
Right,
the
okay.
1.0 story, but it is actually kind of offering an exciting opportunity to kind of lay the groundwork for that type of storytelling in the game.
So I'm really excited about the changes coming in. It's going to allow us to get more fun content in your hands more often. And it's going to provide a much more stable environment for us to work in, but also for you to play in as well.
Up until this point, we've actually been honing in on gameplay mechanics.
Guys, oh man, how do I put it? All of that sounds so amazing. My brain is like a child with sparkles going off in my brain, right? But it's like, you guys kinda can't do that until the game is working a little bit better, because even right now with Pyro itself, there's so many things I can't do. Sometimes I go to a mission for Fight for Pyro, I go to an asteroid bunker, and guess what? No one is there. My markers are there telling me that there's meant to be enemies here. Like, I'm seeing all the markers, but there's no one when I get there, you know? There's things like in the contested zones, you go in, you try to steal gear, loot gear. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Then you have to take all your gear off to put on the enemy gear. That puts you at such risk for that like 5-6 seconds you need to get all that gear onto you. There's so many different things that are, it's like, we can't do this yet, because yes, it's crazy and it's beautiful, but it might break the game. It might break it.
Or kind of under the hood stuff, we have a lot of data pads in the game to kind of do the heavy lifting for storytelling now.
Oh, look at the
This
results.
is allowing us to kind of push on those other facets as a way to kind of be higher impact storytelling techniques.
But yeah, I really like the story, the storytelling. I really like that. I really do.
So with a patch almost every month this year, building the narratives of the Stanton and Pyro systems with new content less reliant on big feature work, and packed between as many bug fixes and refinements as we can manage, we aim to deliver a progressive series of improvements in storytelling that will change life in the verse for the better throughout 2025.
Damn.
For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the people and process of game development with you.
Bro.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks with a look at Alpha 402,
bro.
Supply or Die.
Bro, that is so many good things. That is actually crazy. And at first I was a little bit, okay, firstly, I still, till this moment, think that before we can go to a point where they're adding all these fun, really fun things to do, they might have to like work a little bit on even getting some of the major stuff dealt with, like elevators, hangars, getting most of that major stuff dealt with. I feel like everything else we can kind of walk around. But for now, if they get those things sorted out, it's gonna be crazy, man. Because man, at first I was like, storytelling. How are they gonna do it? What are they gonna do? How are they gonna make it actual? They need a lot of time. Then I realized that it's kind of already partially there, and I'm playing it right now, and it's really engaging to me. So I'm like, yeah, it's very exciting stuff. I'm actually like, my brain is like, yeah, it looks like it's going to be really, really good. Let me know what you guys think about that, man. But yeah, that's it's amazing, man. It's amazing what they want to do. I'm actually like, damn, I'm impressed. If they could pull it off, I'll be really impressed. But until they pull it off, I'm gonna still be on the case of this is look, there's nothing like Star Citizen. But we gotta call a spade a spade. Some stuff are really freaking broken. Fix it. But let's see what they do. Don't forget, if you like this reaction, make sure to like, subscribe, join the party. Let me know your thoughts below. I'll try to reply to everyone as I normally do. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.